Hey you guys, good morning. Today I wanted to take you out and introduce you to my flower farm. So one big part of this move is having space, having acreage, somewhere where the kids can play, somewhere we can plant a big garden. And through this whole year with 2020 and all of everything that's changed, I've really just jumped headfirst into one of my hobbies, which is gardening. And not just gardening for vegetables and produce and like the practical stuff, but flower gardening. In our last house, my flower garden was like a 10 by 5, I believe. And you guys saw me working in that. You saw me enjoying it. You saw the raised beds. But what we are doing here is big. It's different and it's exciting. And I want to show you guys what we've been working on so far. So here it is, and it might not look like much now, but what we have put in before it snowed is a 40 by 40 fenced garden area. Theoretically, it should keep deer out. We've also put in 3 raised and covered beds for strawberries. And we've made them so you can just pull them up, and then it hinges in the back so that you can pick, and I can get in there and, you know, feed the plants, do mulch, all of that stuff. Now, what I had in mind for this area originally was super practical. Like, I wanted to be able to have my garden, grow tomatoes, grow what our family eats. But through the past few months, I've really just thought about how much I love my flower garden and how I wanted to be able to have enough blooms that I can go out and I can just cut, like every few days, cut big bouquets, share those with my friends, share those with the family, and bring them inside, like guilt-free. So I've been doing tons of research on how to start different plants and seeds and what's perennials, what's an annual, what's a hardy annual versus a tender annual, and how I can make the most of our space here. So I'm gonna give you guys just kind of a pan so you can see what the space looks like and the beautiful snow up here in the mountains. And then I want to walk you through some of the specific things that we've done too. Like over here, not only have we already amended the soil with lots and lots of compost and manure, but we've also added some structures here. So this right here is 2 16-foot cattle panels. You can buy these for like 20 bucks. It's like a 4-foot by 16. And then we've got 2 of them there with some T-posts. And this is going to be an amazing 32-foot long trellis for tomatoes or anything else vining that we want to do. I've also got a space here where we planted our raspberries. We transplanted them from our old house, and there's 2 lines up. So you can see it goes the whole distance 2 times. And I also bought, like late in the fall, when we were selling our house, I bought a ton of raspberry starts. So there's something between, probably about 30 plants here between the 2 or more, 35 to 40, I would say. Over here also with the tomatoes, I want to do some companion planting. So I'll have like tomatoes growing up on here, and then in front I'll do something that can kind of trail in front of them. So maybe some bush beans, like green beans, some zinnias, some beauty to kind of bring the pollinators in. I feel like I've really got the space now to do what we always dreamed of doing, which is being a little bit more self-sufficient and just taking care of some land and some space and babying it. I'm so excited to bring you guys along with me. Something else that I decided to do too recently is sign up for the local farmers market. This year they're doing their winter market outdoors, and they actually have like an online ordering option. So we're gonna test out selling at the farmers market with cupcakes and baked goods, using like our fresh eggs from the chickens, selling maybe a few dozen of those, and also some wreaths because we have like an unlimited supply of evergreens, and I love making wreaths, so I thought that would be a really neat way to kind of test it out. And if all goes well and we have a good production going here in the flower farm, then we'd love to do like market bouquets in the spring and summer. What do you guys think? Would that be cool? Also, things we brought over from our old house are some apple trees, cherry trees. Unfortunately, because we were working on selling our house at the end of the year, these guys went a while without water after we planted them. And so I am very nervous. I feel like the cherry trees are gonna make it. And they'll be okay with this transplant, but like my big apple trees that we had for a few years there, we'll have to wait and see how they're gonna do. Now I'm up at the top of the hill looking down at the garden bed. But I've got 2 rows of amazing peonies that should perennialize. I bought them just as bare roots. And then this is the garage. This was like my grandpa's garage. And this was my grandparents' house. So this is where we're staying now. And then the new house is going to be built right in here. I've also got a few more perennial plants that I put in. Right here is a hydrangea. And then over here I've got a couple lilac bushes. And I planted some bulbs too, which I've already lost place of where they're at. This one is going to be the most beautiful white lilac. You can see all the buds. And they are totally suited to this zone. So they will be just fine up here. We're zone 7A. This hat is driving me crazy. But I wanted to show you guys one last thing as a little update. I apologize if it's loud or bumpy as I'm trudging through the snow, but we've got quite a bit of it to go through. Over here, I've got my first ever low tunnel. I've never grown anything in like a greenhouse or a tunnel or anything like that, but I was just searching on YouTube on how to make an easy low tunnel. It's just a few feet off the ground, but something that would enable me to grow some plants that wouldn't otherwise be able to overwinter here. By putting them in a tunnel, we can do it. So let me show you guys what that's looking like right now. Here she is. Now this is a super long tunnel, and as you can see, we've got hoops. They look kind of like a mountain, and that's because look at this snow load that this poor thing has to deal with. Along the whole thing is just getting buried in snow. I'll go around so you can kind of see the width of it. So right now, my little plant babies are hopefully just hanging out in the ground, and as soon as it starts to warm up, they'll be putting down even more roots than they did in the fall. Inside there right now, I've got some anemones, and then I'm also going to be planting out some ranunculus that I got just a few weeks ago. I got them just kind of pre-sprouting. I've learned so much over this whole year. Just whenever I get stressed out about what was going to happen with the house or our plans, which I'm going to show you guys in a little bit more about our plans and what we're thinking, kind of a rough draft that I did, what it's going to look like. But as I've been getting stressed out, I have just been searching how to grow plants, like how to grow certain flowers, how to make market bouquets. All of that stuff has just really been getting me through. Between that and like baking, those have been my quarantine hobbies. So I hope you guys are excited to kind of come along with us on this whole journey of building our place and this flower farm. Oh, one place you guys did want me to show you is the seed starting room, because I've already got stuff started. My eucalyptus, some Iceland poppies. I'll show you that, and then I want to show you the house plants. Okay, much better. So let me show you this rack really quick, because I've been getting a lot of questions about it. You guys will have to let me know. Go message me over on Instagram if you want me to do like a more in-depth tour on how I'm starting seeds, or I don't know, what do you guys want to see? So what I've been learning is that seeds prefer to be started in like a more controlled environment than just directly in the ground outside. Well, certain seeds, so not all. Things like tomato plants, they want to be started inside, and they want to be started early. Things like eucalyptus or so many things, snapdragons, poppies, those are things I have going right now. So what I'm doing is I'm planting the seeds in a seed starting mix in trays. Let me show you as I talk. So first up, let's do right here. I've got some Madame Butterfly Bronze Snapdragons, and these were started on the 26th of December. You can see I've got all these little sprouts just like popping up and going for the light. So I invested in a few lights. They're LED that are good for growing plants. So I've got those on a timer. I just got the timer too as of like yesterday. I got that timer. So it just turns on, it'll go on at 5 and turn off at 7. And that way they get about 12 to 14 hours of sunlight a day. Well, not sunlight, it's UV light. Here, I've got a bunch of Iceland poppies. These I also started from seed, and really I think that's the way that I'm gonna be able to do this whole flower farm operation, is just by doing it by seed and inexpensive. Before, I was always so limited with my flower garden, not only because of the space, but just the cost of it all, because, you know, getting starts just for even like a tomato plant, like something this size. Now this isn't a tomato, but it looks similar. A start like this, even if you got it on like a good sale at like a garden center, it's gonna cost you like $3. So if you wanna have 10 plants, that's $30 just to start out with the plants. Then you still have to have good soil, you gotta care for them, you've gotta water them. So it really makes like homesteading and making your own salsa, making your own pasta sauce and pizza sauce, it starts to get expensive. But just buying like a packet of seeds, I've been buying a lot from Johnny's Seeds online, and you can get like a packet of seeds for like $4.50, or for 250 seeds, you can get maybe like $6-7 for that many seeds. So I just started thinking about it, and I think having a big garden is going to be just so amazing. It's going to be so much more cost effective. I'll be able to have so many more blooms, so many more plants. Speaking of our old place and this plant here, this is actually a cutting from one of my dahlia plants. I'm sure you guys saw a lot of my dahlias in my videos last year. And if you're not familiar with dahlias, they basically, most of the time, are grown from tubers. So like these little potato looking guys. So each one's a tuber that I purchased, and these will send up a shoot, and that's where all your flowers will come from. So it'll like be like a big stalk coming off, multiple if you pinch it at the right time. But each one of those is gonna set off so many flowers. But what I have been doing here is, once they get about 2 inches tall, I actually learned this on YouTube. So once they get about 2 inches tall, then you'll clip it with like a little razor blade, and you want to peel off like the outer leaves, and then you can plant that up into some soil. And let's see, where do I have them? Right over here. So your little guys, you'll plant them in soil, and then they make their own roots. And eventually, over time, as they get big, all of these are dahlia clippings. Once they get big, bigger than this, bigger than these, then they'll make their own tuber. And every year, the tubers are supposed to multiply. So I've got a bunch of clippings from my dahlia tubers that I had in our old place. The sad thing is, our dahlia tubers, because we were in the process of fixing up the house, they got so neglected. In the area that we're in, it was just pooling water. So they were rotting, like just completely rotting away. And I didn't realize it, so I didn't stop like the watering cycle that I had on for them, and these were the only survivors. So I'm trying to do my best to salvage them and just propagate them, get many, many more, so that we can start out here with a lot of the same tubers and save money by doing it this way too. So that's what I'm doing with my dahlias. I also did a little bit of some experiments here with getting some lettuce seeds. These are butter lettuce, and they're doing amazing, like under these lights. It's just one little lettuce seed. See how many? I think I have 6 that we planted. That was a fun little homeschool thing to do with the kids. We've also got some cilantro here I'm growing, some basil. I just wanted to try it out, and it's going really, really good actually. This is definitely like where my heart is right now. Like this is how I'm de-stressing, and it's so fun for me to be able to look at just what these guys could become and just dream about the flowers and all the blooms and all of that stuff. So I think that's all I'm going to show you guys down here for now, but I want to take you upstairs. A lot of you were saying you wanted to see like the future house build plans and like what we're thinking for design. So let me go show you some of the Pinterest boards that I've been planning on, and then I also want to show you what I've actually drawn up for like floor plan, rough floor plan, and then what the outside might look like. Okay, so I've got my computer here, and I've got some drawings, and let me show you the house. Okay, so I'm not the best with a pencil. Like, I'm not the best at drawing this. However, the plan is to do a 2-story house, and it's going to connect to the house that's already here. So this is kind of like from a side angle, it's gonna connect. So it's gonna be a 2-story house, and then have a porch that goes up to the main level, which is the 2nd story. And then the garage is kind of like tucked under. So my hope there is to give it some like farmhouse character, but then also save on cost by kind of like tucking the garage underneath. And then above the 2nd story, so like in this attic space, we want to finish it and put like our master bedroom and master bathroom upstairs, like up in like a master loft, and hopefully have windows out the back, like be able to kind of dormer it up a little bit, and then have like potentially an amazing mountain view out the back. Really excited about that. And I want to show you guys, so kind of my ideas here over on Pinterest. So in this board, I'm calling it Dream Mountain House. But what I've got in here is just little bits here and there of what I imagine for like our dream home. Obviously, in the very beginning, it's gonna be super basic and simple, and we're not gonna be able to have everything like all at once done. But for my kitchen, like I have some very specific, like I wanna have a farmhouse sink for sure. I wanna do shiplap. I wanna have lots of natural light. Actually, I think what I might do is record a separate video going really in depth into like my Pinterest and planning boards, like what we want through, you know, for like each room of the house. But I wanna just show you like some of my key favorites right now. Once that's video up though, I will link it down below and I'll give you like all of this inspo. But in particular, one of the things that I really, really want to have is a front porch with like this beautiful detailing. Like I love this rustic wood, and I love the like pitch of that, and having kind of like a farmhouse, like a farmhouse front. I love the look of this one. This one highly inspired like my drawing and how I kind of, how I drew that up. I really love that for the front porch, and the windows having kind of like, you know, 2 sets of 2, and then the same thing with below. I think that's so, so cute. So this is definitely like some of my main inspiration. I also really love this Windsong project. It's just so open. Like I love the open concept of kitchen and like your dining room and family room all being one long room. It's so tough because I want to keep it budget friendly, but at the same time, if this is our dream home, like if this is our forever home, I want to do it right. I don't want to have to like make alterations and change things up. So I really want to make sure the flow is great, and we're going to have to sacrifice in certain areas, like maybe the flooring we go with. We're not going to be able to afford like wood floors, but we can definitely get the layout like nailed down right. Okay, let me show you guys the floor plan here. So I drew this up really quick. It was on graph paper and I copied it. And then I've got floor 1, floor 2, and then kind of like the master loft area. So this is just like attic space. So let's start on floor 1. I've got a garage. This is kind of like, this part's hanging out from under the house, and then the full thing there tucked under. Doing a few bedrooms down below, with a bathroom down below, and then having your stairs up. I would like to have some sort of like mudroom type thing when we come in from outside. So the backyard would be here, and then that's floor 1. And then once you go up these stairs, so over to floor 2, once you go up the stairs, then you come out onto your main level, which is floor 2 here. Then I've got like a bedroom here, a giant laundry room, your entryway, a bathroom, a pantry. I love this idea, like walking in. And then this open concept of having like a kitchen on one side, dining room table in the middle, and then some couches and a fireplace. I think that would be beautiful. We mapped it out at about 3,200 square feet, which is big, but I think for what I'm trying to create and what we can do up here, I think that's gonna be a good size. And then the master suite. So this staircase would need to be able to go up one more. What we'd like to do is somehow fit in our master bedroom, bathroom, a little closet, and some kind of a studio space where I can work on these videos for you guys. So that is like the rough draft of kind of what we want to do with our house plan. This whole thing, it's so exciting, it's terrifying, there's like so many moving pieces to it. Right now we're working on finding someone who can draw up these plans, and then a structural engineer who can actually like do calculations and get it to where we can submit something to the city here. And if they approve it, a lot of you guys have been asking about the timeline. If we can get plans submitted and approved over the winter, we pretty much could just break ground once the snow clears. So here that may be, I don't know, April. Let's say April probably as to when we would actually be able to start. But I'm trying not to rush it. I'm trying just to stay distracted with my gardening, with kind of getting our little homestead going up here. Eventually, we would love to get horses. That's like the big big goal. That's gonna be a ways off, but building a barn and getting horses would be amazing, and in this whole flower farm situation. So if you guys want to follow along the whole process and project, I post a lot on my Instagram stories, so if you're not already following over there, make sure you do that. And if you want to message me, that's the best way to do it, over on Instagram. So I'll leave that down below, as well as my Pinterest. In the meantime, before I have this video up explaining it all, you can check it out and just see what I've got pinned and stuff. So I will see you guys soon. You can check out a couple of my most recent videos over here and in the cards, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.